In 1965, the first images of Mars were sent back from the Mariner 4 probe. The image looked like this. But before that image could be processed properly, NASA scientists decided to take it upon themselves to use the numbers, the raw data, and create a paint by numbers, which looked like this. This image of Mars was the first ever close up color image of Mars to be seen by humans. And I think it'd be cool to do a project that was inspired by it. So, an idea that I had for myself was using computer code to create a paint by numbers for myself. Or in this context, it would be a draw by numbers. I want to use my Posca markers. These ones. They're paint markers that have really great color. I'm going to use this image as input for my code. It's a AI image from 2022, so early generative AI, where I use the word Monet as input. I think that generative AI images from this era tend to look really interesting and distinct from human art in a way that modern ones don't. For this project, I'm going to be using Processing 5, also known as P5JS, which is a coding platform used to make generative art. The platform that I've been using, TurtleToy, is really nice, but it's a little limited in scope. Notably, it can't take an image as input and it can't display color. And so P5JS is perfect for this problem. So the next idea I had was to try and emulate the way that a computer screen represents color. The first idea I had was taking the image as input and then creating a grid of average pixel colors, which makes a sort of lower resolution image. The problem with this image is that the colors just don't match the Posca markers that I want to use. So the next idea I had was to try and emulate the way that a computer screen represents color. You probably know a computer screen uses red, green, and blue in a grid to represent all colors that are possible to be represented by a computer. That looks like this. You might notice that green is twice as prevalent in the grid as red and blue. It's because green is actually a color that our eyes are particularly good at seeing, and so early computer screens decided to take advantage of this by increasing the number of green pixels. What I'm going to do is take the average of small squares of pixels and find the red, green, and blue values of those, and depending on a threshold, I'll decide whether to draw a square there or not. That ends up looking like this, compared against the original image. My problem is that with these colors, I'm only able to show one type of green, unlike a computer screen which can change the strength of each individual pixel to display different strengths of green, which means that either I'm displaying pure white or pure green. Also, I lack the granularity of a computer grid, which allows them to really trick the eyes in a way that I wouldn't be able to if I was doing paint by numbers. Next, what I can do is take the average of each of these smaller squares and lock them to whatever color is closest to whatever I have in my Posca marker set.
Hi, Editing Joel here. This video has been a bit of a pain to film and get all of the different parts for. I'm sure Ari's feeling this too, but this project feels a little bit like cooking in a new kitchen. I'm just trudging through mud, learning how to get from stepping stone to stepping stone. I was doing a mix of making the code and then filming and then editing and then coming back and realizing that the image that I have doesn't look very good and I really don't want to make a paint by numbers for it because it looks like this. I spent about 2 hours last night transferring the videos from my phone to my computer by uploading them to the cloud on a very slow internet connection. Normally I would plug my phone in with a cable, but my only cable that I have doesn't have a steady connection, and if the connection breaks for even a second, it stops uploading everything, even though I just want to send a couple videos. So now I'm recording everything on my computer camera, which, as you can probably tell, sucks ass. I'm gonna try and get a webcam for next week. I know this video feels really weird, splitting in the middle, the vision on this video is like horrible. It goes from project explanation to vlog like that with no explanation, and I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out how I want to make these videos in the future, and I gotta upload for the sake of uploading. So here we go. Bye, bros.